ourselves. So guys, today, the point of today's event is to learn from some of the guys that I've learned from. So I've been fortunate enough to achieve a certain amount of success in business and in life, from relationships to business to money to travel to freedom. But it wasn't always like that. And I had to go through a process of learning from some of the guys in the industry. So my learning journey started when I finished school and I went through the whole conventional learning stage, and I went through MBA and all that sort of stuff, which I didn't complete because I sat there for a whole semester learning HR and finance. And I thought, I've got an HR person working for me. I've got a finance person working for me. Why the hell must I learn HR and finance? Teach me sales, teach me mindset, teach me how to create a business that generates a profit. And then I went out and I got introduced into this personal development space and a non-conventional way of learning. So the event that we put together today is probably one of my personal favorites. Because without Paul knowing it, he's been a mentor of mine, one that I've been kind of stalking online. In 2019, I did a workshop with Paul that's here today. And I was in the beginning like one of those that it's not even on the card of the day. And Paul was standing there and I had the opportunity to stand at the back and I was chatting to him. And he gave me one of the best pieces of advice ever that made a massive impact on my business. And he said, sell them what they want, give them what they need. We often sell our customers what we think they need and not what they want. Because at the end of the day, money is an exchange of perceived value. Okay, so that's what the process is about today. And just to take you on my journey, today I'm fortunate and I've got a whole bunch of things. I drive supercars and travel the world and spend 4 months of the year in a different country, attending some of the best workshops in the world, attending some of the best minds in the world, Bali, Singapore, Los Angeles, San Diego, etc., etc. But I think back to when this whole journey started, and you remember that old box-shape Jettas that you get? It's like a 1989 model or something. That was actually my first car that I had when I started this. But it wasn't even a good-looking Jetta. It was one of those that sounded like a V8. Not because of the motor, but because of all the holes in the exhaust. It's one of those that you park 2 blocks away from your customer and you walk down because you don't want them. What do they do when you finish a meeting? They say, let me walk you out to your car. I was like, no, it's okay. I'll park it straight up there. And then going through this process, whenever I wanted to learn something, I attend conference like this. Obviously, one day is too short to learn all this stuff, so everyone presents something that you can continue working with them. And I've spent probably R1.5 million on non-conventional education. And to some people, it might sound a lot, but if you look how much money I've made as a result of it, it's a fraction. Okay, so today you're going to have the opportunity to learn from some of the best guys in the industry, people that I've learned from. Robin's been in the industry for many, many years. Paul's been in the industry for many, many years. It's guys that's been here a lot longer than me and that's achieved a lot more success than me. So one of the things that got me from the Jetta full of holes to the Ferraris and the Porsches and all that sort of stuff and traveling the world, my path that I take, everyone's path is different. My path was learning how to build funnels. So at the end of today, when everyone's done, I'm going to take you through the process that I went through, what technology I used, what systems I used, and the psychology that I went through to be able to start generating customers online. And just to prove that it works, is 2 weeks ago, I jumped on a call with Paul. Never in my life thought I'll actually have a meeting with him. I actually took a photo on the side and I sent it to my fiance. I'm like, can you freaking believe it? I will call with Paul. So it was one of those moments. And he said, let's do an event together and let's get 400 people in the room. I was like, okay, let's do that. Not having done that in that short a period of time, and through funnels, through proper marketing, we managed in 2 weeks to put together an event that most people will take 6 months. And that is through all the stuff that I've learned from some of the guys that's going to be speaking today. And then one special guest as well, Mark, who's heard of the metaverse before? Who knows exactly what it is? Okay, so you're in the same boat as me. I've seen this taglines, I've seen the slogans, I've got no freaking idea what it is. He's going to show us how to profit from the metaverse, because it's cool to learn new things. Ultimately, what do we want? We want to make more money. And it's not about the money, it's what the money can buy. That is what we ultimately want. What does money give you? Freedom, time, choices. Most importantly, money gives you options. And last story that I just want to end off with on options before Robin gets on the stage. As I was sitting about a year ago, and I looked online for a new car. Now, guys, what color does a Ferrari need to be? Red, right? And then you come across this beautiful white convertible Ferrari, and it starts confusing you. And after like 3 days of agonization, etc., I went into the office and I sat with Ayanda, he's one of our videographers in Van Studios. Like, dude, yeah, I can't make a decision. Like, red, it's supposed to be red, but look how beautiful this white one is. And he walks out to Manette, my fiance, and he stands next to you. He's like, yeah, I'd love to have Ferrari problems. My problems look totally different than this. Now, guys, as I mentioned, it wasn't always like that. I had to go on a journey, and it took me a couple of years to be able to do that. And I learned one thing, which I'll share with you later today as well. Success is simple. It's following the right actions consistently for the time that it takes to generate results. We all want the magic button. Press the magic button. If it doesn't work, 2 months later, we do something else. Press the magic button, doesn't work, 2 months later, we do something else. Fast forward 5 or 10 years, and you're still in exactly the same space, if not worse off, because of inflation and all that sort of stuff. So there is no magic button. It's about learning, because the more you learn, the more you earn. Okay, so the more you learn, the more you earn. So well done for being here. And today you're going to go through learning from some of the guys that I learned from to be able to get to the space. And then at the end of today, I'll take you through a presentation on what is the current stuff that I'm doing, what is our community about, etc., etc. So just everyone that's part of my community, Friday Club, Van Studios, etc., just raise your hand. Just want to see where you guys are. Awesome. Well done, guys. Thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting us and being with the process. So Robin, welcome to come. Guys, so enjoy the day. Enjoy. I'm going to be a student with all of you today, and then at the end of the day, I'll share some of my insights, but you're here to learn. And the insights I want to give you, pick the one thing that's going to make the biggest difference in your life going forward. Okay, we're going to learn a whole bunch of things. What is the one thing that's going to make the biggest impact in your life? Guys, enjoy the show, enjoy the day, and hope you learn so that you can earn.
Awesome. Thank you, Gina. Well, good morning. Goeiemorgen. Dumelang, Sanbonani, Molweni. How's everybody this morning? Are you excited to be here? Awesome. Well, we are going to have a great day. Billy Selakan is in the house, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Billy, I have to touch the blood. If you don't know Billy, where have you been? How many of you know Billy? Those of you, I don't know where the rest of you have been. So, good morning, everybody. Before we get started, my name is Robin Banks. In fact, I wasn't originally part of this event. When I heard that Paul was coming, I said, can I be the MC? So, and the reason I want to be the MC is honestly, while I'm enjoying being on the line, there's nothing like being live in front of a group of people. So I'm really excited to be here with you. By the way, can I just check if how many of you have heard me speak before? I recognize a few people. Awesome. Well, awesome. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Robin Banks, and I always like to start my sessions with a short story because I cannot tell you how many times people have confused me with Mark Banks. So, ladies and gentlemen, if I may just clarify, Mark Banks is a comedian. I am a speaker. He's white, I'm colored, we different. So the story I'd like to tell you, I'm originally from Johannesburg, and when I was about 16 years old, I met a man who was visiting South Africa from the States. And this guy's name was Bob Hollis. And Bob was from Arkansas, down in the South. And you know how they talk down in the South, you know? Like, you know, they talk real slow? And nonetheless, what happened is when I met him, a friend of mine was introducing me to him, and my friend says to me, Robin, I'd like you to meet Bob Hollis. He says, Bob, this is my friend Robin Banks. So this guy came up to me, and as he was busy shaking my hand, hope you don't mind, sir, you can have a seat, he says to me, now, did he just say that your name was Robin Banks? So I said yes, because I didn't get it. Like some of you. I see some of you are sitting going, waarom lach mense? Why is that funny? So I said, yes, that's my name, Robin Banks. And this guy says to me, Robin Banks. So I said, yeah, you got it, yeah. Some of them still haven't got it. Yeah. So I said, yes, that's my name, Robin Banks. He says, Robin Banks sounds more like an occupation than a name. So ladies and gentlemen, the first thing I'd like to tell you, I don't rob banks for a living. And I see some of you only get it now. Okay, Nyakonda, Robin Banks. I'm understanding. So firstly, I'd like to tell you, I don't rob banks for a living. It's just my name. Secondly, see some very young people in the room. How many people in the room have got children, please, that you know of? Okay. And who does not have children? I was just about to say, my brother, you didn't put up your hand either way. But let's be honest, you took a long time to put your hand up. Is this your mom? Oh, so that's why you're thinking there was that one night and and how many of you have been children at some point? Yeah. How many of you would say that even though you are an adult? Awesome. The reason I'm asking you, sir, is that's the spirit I'm going to ask you to bring into the room today. I'm going to ask you to bring your room, because one of the things I love about children is that children love to play. And I believe that when you're playing, not only do you have fun, but that's when you learn the most. Would you agree? So I'm going to ask you to play with me today. Are you guys happy to play with me? Yeah? Hold on, let me just rephrase that, because I saw some people play with him. Oh, man. So, are you guys happy to play along with me? Yeah? Awesome. If I could ask you, please stand up for a moment. You know, I asked the guys at the back if they have a headset mic, and they said no. So I was like, all right, the boer maak 'n plan, 'n kleerling het al klaar 'n plan. So, if I could ask you, please put your right finger up in the air like so. Yeah? And please, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you get, if I can ask you, please make sure you get the correct finger. Please take your left hand and put your left hand down flat like this next to you. Now take your right finger and drop it into the person's hand on your right. Yeah. There's only one. This is wrong. This is right. And what's going to happen is when I say go, as quickly as possible, what you've got to do is you're going to pull this finger away, and at the same time, you've got to close this hand. So you're going to try and catch this person's finger before they can pull it away, and at the same time, you must pull finger before this person catches finger. Okay, ready? Right, go! Let's try one more time. Put your finger in. Pin drop silent. Go! Okay, now, if I could ask you to please stand with your hands apart like this for a moment. And what's going to happen is when I say 3, all you have to do is just clap your hands together. When I say 3, ready? Right, go! Okay, guys, let me explain again. When I say 3, then you clap. Verstaan? Wabon? Nyakonda. Start afresh. Okay, ready? 1, 2, go! Eugene, where's Eugene? Eugene, you told me these are intelligent people here in Pretoria. Now, by the way, once you've clapped your hands together, please keep them closed. Don't open them again. Keep them closed. I promise you I won't trick you this time. I give you my word. Ready? Get ready. I promise I won't trick you. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Keep your hands closed. Have a look at your thumbs. Some of you got the right one over the left. You just changed your thumbs. Some of you have the right over the left. Some of you got the left over the right. Some of your thumbs are next to each other. If your right thumb is crossing the left one, please raise your hands. Who's got right over left? That's right over left. Oh, yours is, yeah, let's say yours is left over right. Please have a look at these people, ladies and gentlemen. Lots of people. Science has proven that the reason why you guys do this is because you are sexy. Yes. Yes. I like this. This woman's like, it's obvious. It's obvious. And those of you who didn't put up your hand, it's too late. You can't be changing. And now if your left thumb is crossing over the right one, please raise your hands. Who's got left over right? You guys are going to love the session today because you guys are really good thinkers. Good thinkers naturally cross the left thumb over the right one. Now, if your thumbs are next to each other, please raise your hands. Okay, that's most of you. Now, you guys, you think you're sexy. Yes. Thank you. You can have a seat. And I see some people upset with me. I'm sexy and I know it. Don't be chacharach. So, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, I want to acknowledge you for choosing to be here today. And the reason why is that, would you guys agree with me, the world is going through an incredible amount of change. Would you agree? There's an old Chinese proverb which says, may you live in interesting times. And boy, are these interesting times. I mean, we are suffering, manish. There's so much going on politically, there's so much going on environmentally, people's personal lives are being challenges, health, relationships. I believe that what's happening on the planet, my opinion, is I believe that we are actually evolving to a higher state of consciousness. Because the old way of being isn't working anymore. We cannot continue to be who we are as the species and not pay the prices that we are paying. So I think we are giving birth to a new way of being. But giving birth, from what I've been told, is painful. Giving birth, if you know, is ladies, I once said it's uncomfortable, and someone said, uncomfortable? That is the understatement of the world. It is not uncomfortable. But giving birth is bloody. Giving birth, I'm sorry, the actual process of giving birth is ugly. It's messy. Is it worth it? I think we're going to look back at these times and say, those were the times when we gave birth to a new way of being. So yes, I know that it's not easy. I know it's not comfortable. But why I'm acknowledging you for choosing to be here is most people are choosing to be victims about their lives and go, oh, well, what can we do? That's life. We must carry on. There is something you can do. You know, during times of change, we can either choose to see ourselves as victims of the change, or we can choose to be victors in spite of the change. Now, there's the ABC language that victims use, and there's the ABC language that victors use. The ABC language of the victim focuses on accusation, blame, and complaint. This is what victims love to do. It's always someone else who's to blame because I'm not happy. It's my wife. It's my mother-in-law. It's the boss. It's Jacob. It's Julius. It's Cyril. It's the weather. It's load shedding. And what do victims do about their problems is they complain and complain and complain. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, in case you don't have something to complain about, the media in South Africa will supply you. Just read a paper and you'll find lots to complain about. Because you guys know what news stands for? Negative energy with suffering. Because the media finds the worst stories, and then not only do they find the worst story, they emotionalize it to make it. I saw an article in the Cape Argus one day, front page of the Cape Argus, how my hero raped me. Her hero. Can you believe it? Now, I'm not saying it's not terrible, but would you agree the language that they use? There's a saying in the media, if it bleeds, it leads. The worse the story, the better the story, because that's going to get us lots more attention. One of my favorite newspapers for negative headlines is The Sun. Those people are good. There was a headline in The Sun one day, front page of The Sun. Headless man found in topless bar. That's a good headline, would you agree? In fact, there was a headline in the Son. Sorry, who does not understand Afrikaans? I'll translate into English. Who does not? Don't worry, I will translate it into English. But in Afrikaans, this headline is a gem. Front page of the Son. Man sterf toe hy draad trek. In English, for those of you who don't understand, man dies while pulling wire. And if you don't understand, I am not translating. You'll have to find out what does pulling wire mean. But my favorite headline was actually in the Star about 15, 20 years ago. Front page of the Star. Man forced to eat his own feces. That's a cuck story. And then we still pay good money to read this shit. Hey man, look, this guy had to eat his feces. What does she say? Robin, that's nothing. Look on page 3. It's worse. If we're not complaining about how country, how are things going with your business? Oh, hell. If we're not complaining about our businesses, how are things at home? That wife of mine, not to mention my mother-in-law, what I'm getting at is, would you agree with me that most people actually, think about this, most people spend most of their time complaining. And we're not even aware that's what we're doing. This is why we have coffee breaks. So you can complain. Really, it's terrible, hey? But my word, what can we do? That's life. Have you heard people saying that? Yeah, some of them are sitting in your chair. Those are the people I want to speak about today, is the people sitting in your chair. So what's today's workshop about? You taking control of your destiny. You choosing what is it that you want to create. You know, I was in Australia I was doing a workshop, some workshops in Australia in September, August 2015, and I was in Sydney. And I was in this restaurant in Coogee Bay called the Pavilion, and I'll never forget this moment because the maitre d', the guy was like running the head waiter, they'd messed up my order 3 times, and eventually this guy came up to me, and he's what they call a bougan, and a bougan in Australia, you know what a bougan is, man? Yeah, you've been to Australia, but you know what a bougan is. A bougan is like a really rough character. Like, you know, this guy had a big beard, he had big arms, he had tattoos everywhere. And he spoke in this very broad Australian accent. And he came up to me, and in this very broad accent, he comes up to me and he says to me, "What are you after?" So I looked at him, I said, "Excuse me?" He says, "What are you after?" What am I after? I'm like, I don't understand what that means. What are you after? So you can see I'm looking confused, and he says to me, "Listen, Mike, I don't mean to be busy. I'm just really busy. I just need to know, what are you after? The chicken or the salad?" I was like, "Oh, what do I want?" I said, "No, I'd like the chicken salad, please." He says, "You want the chicken salad?" I said, "Yes, please." He says, "I'll get that sorted for you." He turns around, walks away, comes back 15 minutes later. He puts down in front of me the most beautiful, delicious chicken salad I'd ever had. And he says to me, "Is that what you're after?" I said to him, "That's exactly what I'm after." He says, "Well, there you go, mate." I said, "Thank you very much." And he turns around to walk away. And as he turned around to walk away, I said to the lady I was having dinner with, I said, "Do you know what I like about that guy?" She says, "What?" I said, "Clear communication." There was no mistaking what he was asking me for. "What are you after? The chicken or the salad?" And I was specific. I said, "I want the chicken salad." And what did he say? "I'll get that sorted for you." What's my point, ladies and gentlemen? Every morning, be specific, clear communication, and get to the point. And here's the main one. Every morning when you wake up, God, Allah, Buddha, Krishna, Ra, the universe, whatever you want to call the great power, every morning when you wake up, you're asked a very important question about your life. What are you after? And what do most people say? Suffering. I'll get that sorted for you. So I've got a question for you. What are you after? What do you want? Because clarity is power. When you become clear about what it is that you want, you'll be amazed to discover that the universe is just waiting for you to become clear about what you're after. And ask and you shall receive is the law of the universe. But you've got to play your part. Would you agree? So, ladies and gentlemen, do you guys have the presentation? Could you put the presentation on? Hey? What are you saying? What are you saying, Paulie? More? Oh, well, give me the presentation, mate. Oh, you can't do that. Oh, they're suffering. We've got load shedding, ladies and gentlemen. Did you guys hear that Eskom have passed a new law? Did you guys hear that? Apparently, if you have a power failure in South Africa, you're not allowed to call it a blackout. It is not politically correct. You must now call it a previously lit area. This is the correct terminology. So I was going to show you a slide, but it's a quick slide, and it doesn't matter. It's just a visual. But today we're going to be speaking about success. How many of you want to be successful? How many of you want to be more successful? Absolutely. You wouldn't be here if you wouldn't want to be more successful. And I meant that when I said I want to acknowledge you, because most people would rather sit at home and watch days of other people's lives than actually do something about empowering themselves. And so I believe that success is 80% psychology, 20% mechanics. Success is 80% psychology, 20% mechanics. What does that mean? Well, how is it possible that you can have two people who run the same type of business? Let's take real estate, because everybody understands real estate. Sorry, ma'am, what's your name? Zama. That's correct. How did you know? You got it right. And your name, ma'am? Beatrix. What a nice name, Beatrix. Is that Greek? What is it? Beatrix. I've never heard it. Beatrix, nice. So let's just say that Zama and Beatrix are both real estate agents. They've both, which you are. Who's your daddy? I mean, I don't know who your daddy is, but I'm just saying that. So there you go. So let's just say you're not a real estate agent. That would have been a bit too much. I would have been like, the gods are speaking through me. So Zama and Beatrix, let's just say they're both real estate agents, because Beatrix isn't, but you are. And let's just say they both work for the same real estate agency. They've both been real estate agents for 10 years. They're selling houses in the same area to the same people. And Zama is selling 3 houses a month. Wouldn't that be cool? You are selling 3 a month. Who's your daddy? That's amazing. That's a lot of houses a month. And she's selling 3 houses a month and you selling none. But let's just say you're selling 1 house every 3 months. Because that does happen in real estate, am I right? Some people will sell 3 a month. Some are selling 1 every 3 months. Question: are the mechanics the same? Yeah. They're both real estate agents selling houses to the same people. They've both been real estate agents for 10 years. The mechanics are the same. So, how many of you run your own businesses? Yeah? So you've got the mechanics. Are there other people, how many of you know of other people who are running the same type of business that you are running, but they're making more money? Yeah. So the mechanics are there. What's the difference? Why is she selling 9 houses every 3 months and she's selling 1? The mechanics are the same. What's the difference? Psychology. So let me share with you that I believe that success is 80% psychology, 20% mechanics. You got to have the right mindset. Success begins inside you. Success is an attitude. Success is a vibration of energy. Success is a belief. And where does success start? It starts inside you. It starts in your thoughts. How many of you have heard the saying that everything is energy? How many of you have heard this? Everything is energy. For those of you who haven't heard this for me, quantum physics is one of the most exciting things on the planet for me. I love quantum physics. And one of the things that quantum physics tells us is that everything is made up of energy. Absolutely everything is made up of energy. The walls are made up of energy, the floor is made up of energy, the screen's made up of energy, the microphone's made up of energy, you made up of energy. And that the differences between the matter we experience, what makes the pole different from the wood, is energy vibrates at a different frequency. But everything is energy. How many many of you saw the first movie, The Matrix? How many of you saw the first movie, The Matrix? Some of you are too young. Yeah, oh, man, I thought you were younger. It was 1999. Hoe oud is jy? 22, and you've already seen The Matrix. You're 3 years old. How old are you? 21. I was 21 once, a long time ago. But in the first movie, The Matrix, even for those of you who don't get it, or who haven't seen it, there was a part of the movie where Keanu Reeves comes running into a room. And as he comes running into the room, Agent Smith is standing there with a gun. And he said, dodge this. And he went, and he emptied a cartridge of bullets into his body. And he fell dead on the ground. But Trinity, who was with his real body in the Nebuchadnezzar, if you haven't seen the movie, this won't make sense. But for those of you who remember, do you guys remember? Trinity was with his real body in the Nebuchadnezzar, and she says to him, Neo, the oracle. She said, you're the one. You can't be dead, Neo. Get up, Neo. Did you see her reaching forward? Did you see? No, I'm joking. And she gave him a big kiss. And do you guys remember what happened to Neo when he was in the Matrix, when he got a kiss? What happened? Suddenly he was alive. He was like, he's like, and he got up. And when he got up, he went into the hallway. And instead of seeing a solid floor and a solid wall and 3 agents in front of him, what did he see? Does anyone remember? What did he see? He saw the Matrix. And what's it made up of? Binary code. What's binary code? Ones and zeros. That the wall's made up of ones and zeros, the floor's made up of ones and zeros, the people in front of him. I mean, look, you look like a 1 and a 0. All together 1. 1, 0. But everything, it's all energy. What happened? Sorry, not getting into trouble there. So what I'm saying is, everything is made up of energy. Now, even though that's a movie, do you guys know that it's based in fact? It's a fact. Everything is made up of energy.